So I'm just going to go straight for the weather ball here. Let's see if this gets the shield. But it one-shots the Caesar there. What's up everybody? So it's Roselia Community in Pokemon Go, and in this video I'm going to be trying out Bullet Seed and Weather Ball Roserade in the Ultra League Premier Cup. And honestly, this thing is an absolute monster. It's the first time we're actually getting two exclusive moves on a single community day, and this moveset has made Roserade so much more viable as far as PvP is concerned. Obviously with Bullet Seed you can generate energy very quickly and spam those weather balls, which now provides that hard-hitting super effective coverage against steel types, right? It's almost become like an Ultra League version of Sunny Cherrim, and also has that partial poison typing, which is going to help provide some useful resistances against Charmers, Fighters, etc. And for this team comp, I'm going to be running it alongside Gyarados and Typhlosion. Now, this is a pretty basic team comp, but it's very, very strong. I'll definitely be making more interesting teams with Roserade in my coming videos as well. But for now, these are some really exciting battles in here, so let's just get straight into it. Okay, moving on to the first battle here. I'm going to be leading with Roserade, with Gyarados as the safe swap and Typhlosion in the back. So we have Roserade into a Caesar. Perfect, right? This is exactly why we have Weather Ball. And also Roserade with Bullet Seed is going to be able to outpace Caesar to those charge moves, right? So I'm just going to go straight for the Weather Ball here. Let's see if this gets the shield. But it one-shots the Caesar there. That is like so satisfying. And also these are still early hours during the comp day. So I'm not sure if they realized that Roserade had Weather Ball yet. They come in with their Typhlosion. I switch it to my Typhlosion, and now they come in with Swampert. This is obviously not a great matchup, but I'm going to go straight Blast Burn here because I know I can't get to a Solar Beam in time. Blast Burn is still going to do quite a bit of damage in spite of being resisted. And then, yeah, they did overfarm quite a bit here. So I'm going to let it go through. Hydro Cannon will definitely one-shot the Typhlosion from this range. And then I'm going to come in with my Roserade here because I want to preserve the Gyarados for the Typhlosion, right? So I'm going to come in with Roserade and go straight Weather Ball. The reason I throw the Weather Ball is I know they're very close to a charge move, and I want to do as much chip damage as possible. It still does quite a bit of damage there, and then I'm going to try and Bullet Seed down, but unfortunately they're able to get to a charge move with like 1 HP left. So I'm going to let it go through. Unfortunately ends up being a Sludge Wave, and that one-shots the Roserade from that range. And then I can come in with Gyarados, and even though the Typhlosion has a little bit of an energy advantage, we should be able to close out this game, right? Because these Dragon Breaths are doing so much damage right now. And I'm just going to go for the Aqua Tail here. They are building up to two back-to-back Blast Burns at this point. So yeah, I'm actually going to shield the first move because if it's Solar Beam, it would probably one-shot from this range. So it is just a Blast Burn, which is okay. And they threw the next one right away, right? So I know at this point it was too soon to be Solar Beam. They definitely don't have enough energy for a Solar Beam. It's just going to be a Blast Burn, which is resisted. And I'm going to actually build up to two Aqua Tails and then try and go back to back here. And they are trying to build up to two Blast Burns as well. But at this point, I'm just going to commit to the complete Dragon Breath farm down there. So, I mean, they were probably like one Incinerate away from having two back-to-back Blast Burns. And the fact that they still had a shield is why I didn't throw the Aqua Tail there. So, as you can see, landing the Weather Ball on Caesar put us so far ahead in the game that even though we gave up switch advantage towards mid-game, we were still able to recover and come back from that, right? So moving into the second battle here, we have Roserade into a Surfetched. Perfect. Once again, another positive lead because we're resisting those counters because of the poison typing. And again, I think Roserade and Surfetched get to charge moves like at the same time, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just going to go for the Weather Ball here. It does get the shield and also ends up being a CMP tie, which is really good. I'm actually going to let it go through because I want to see how much a Night Slash does to a Roserade. I was hoping they would go for Leaf Blade because that would have been double resisted, but it's okay, still does okay damage. And I'm going to go for another Weather Ball here, and let's see if this lands on the Surfetched. Yeah, it does land, does quite a bit of neutral damage there, and at this point I'm going to let it go through, right, because we got a shield out of them. And I'm just going to let my Roserade go down because I can come in with Gyarados and farm down before they can get to another move right now. So I'm going to try and completely Dragon Breath farm this Surfetched down. Luckily, we're able to do it. Let's see what they come in with. They come in with their Togekiss, immediately going to go into my Typhlosion here. And they have their own Typhlosion in the back. This is fine, right? We have an energy and shield advantage as well. So this is looking pretty good. Unfortunately, they sneak an Incinerate through, which is not good. So I'm going to go for the Blast Burn here. It's going to do quite a bit of resisted damage in this matchup. It does get the shield anyway, so it's okay. I'm going to shield this, right? I'm not worried about anything coming from a Togekiss because Typhlosion is going to be able to outpace Togekiss to those charge moves. So I'm going to go straight for the next Blast Burn here. This is not going to KO the Typhlosion, but it's probably going to put it into Incinerate farm down range, right? Does quite a bit of damage there. And yeah, another charge move coming through. I'm definitely going to shield this, and I'm hoping that I can farm it down so that I'll have a Blast Burn ready to throw at the Togekiss, right? Yeah, they are very close to another Blast Burn right now. And luckily I'm able to Incinerate down just in time here. And I'm just going to go straight Blast Burn onto this Togekiss. It's going to do massive neutral damage in this matchup. And also we have an Aqua Tail stored on the Gyarados, right? As soon as this Blast Burn lands, immediately going to switch in my Gyarados and go for the Aqua Tail here. Now this is not going to take out the Togekiss, but it's going to put it very low that yeah, I'm going to be able to Dragon Breath farm it down there. So even though Dragon Breath is double resisted, the Togekiss was extremely low and we were able to take it out there. So as you can see, I mean, a lot of people like to lead with fighters as well, in which case Roserade can be a pretty amazing lead. I mean, it's got such a versatile coverage, and as you can see, I mean, Weather Ball did so much to a Surf Edge, right? That did about like 40% of Surf Edge's health, which is pretty impressive right there. So another fighter lead, Machamp, fantastic once again because we're resisting those counters. And I'm just gonna go straight Weather Ball here. Again, Machamp is extremely glassy. It's not a Shadow Machamp, so they might probably let it go through. Yeah, they do let that go through. It still does about 30% of Machamp's health. And at this point, I'm not worried about a Rock Slide, so I'm gonna shield this up. Probably just going to be a cross chop bait. It is a cross chop bait, which is unfortunate. That would have been resisted. So I'm going to overfarm a little bit here and they go for another charge move. At this point, I know this is just a cross chop, right? It was too soon to be Rock Slide. This is resisted because of the poison typing. And I can just, overfarm. I'm going to actually build up a little past 2 Weather Balls and then throw the first one here. Let's see if this gets the shield from the Machamp. Because if they shield that, I can go for another one, right? They actually let that go through, which is okay. They come in with their Charizard, immediately going to go into my Gyarados here. And then this is where I make a little bit of a mistake. I shouldn't have switched into my hard counter right away there. I should have probably switched into my Typhlosion. But they come in with their Milotic. Now this is fine. I'm actually going to build up to an Outrage and then bait with Aqua Tail here. And does get the shield from Milotic, which is fantastic. And this was too soon to be Blizzard. It's just going to be a Surf, which is resisted. So I'm going to let it go through. Surf still does okay damage. But at this point, I'm actually going to build up to another Outrage and bait again with Aqua Tail. Now this is debatable. I probably should have gone straight Outrage, but I felt like they would probably want to preserve their Milotic for my Gyarados, right? But they actually let that go through, which is unfortunate. Should have gone straight Outrage. So at this point, I'm just going to throw the Aqua Tails here to do as much chip damage as possible. And then at this point, I'm going to try and switch in my Roserade and try and sneak a Weather Ball through. Unfortunately, we don't get it, right? I mean, we go down to Waterfall there. And the fact that we wasted some energy on Roserade, that kind of ended up costing me this game there. So I'm going to come back with Gyarados. Unfortunately, this Milotic has a move ready to go. It's probably just going to be a Surf, which is not going to KO. But it's going to put us into Waterfall farm down range, right? I'm trying to Dragon Breath down here. Unfortunately, we're not able to do it. So I'm going to come in with my Typhlosion here and try and farm it down with Incinerate. But then again, Incinerate is just, it takes a lot of, I mean, it's a 5-turn fast move. So they're able to get off another Surf here. And I'm able to take out this Milotic, but the unfortunate part is that we are at a shield deficit, right? We needed to be on even shields to beat this Charizard here. They do go for Blast Burn, which is fine. And at this point, I'm going to actually build up to 2 Blast Burns and then throw the back-to-back here. So, I'm going to go for the first Blast Burn. This is almost for sure going to get the shield from the Charizard. And I'm really hoping that the second Blast Burn KOs from this range, right? Unfortunately, they sneak another Fire Spin through, which is really unfortunate because they're probably going to be able to get to a Dragon Claw right now. Blast Burn doesn't quite KO. And yeah, they're able to get to a Dragon Claw here. I mean, they actually sneaked in 2 Fire Spins in this matchup, which kind of ended up making the difference here. Because if not, they probably wouldn't have been able to get to a Dragon Claw, and one Incinerate or a couple of Incinerate would have taken it out there. So definitely a little bit of a misplay on my part. The one thing is that I should have probably thrown the Outrage on the Milotic. Or if I just still preserved my Roserade with the Weather Ball, then I could have come in with my Roserade and thrown the Weather Ball on the Charizard, right? But anyways, it's fine. Moving into the next battle here, another positive lead against a Swampert. Exactly what you want to see on the lead. They make a switch into their Typhlosion. I go into Gyarados here. So at this point, I should be able to get to an Aqua Tail here. Yeah, I'm able to get to an Aqua Tail. They are overfarming quite a bit because they've done about 3 Incinerates right now. Probably 3 or 4, if I'm not. Yeah, they actually, no. They did, I mean, at this point, I was thinking they did about 3 or 4 Incinerates. But they have enough for a Solar Beam there. So that's why Typhlosion can be so deadly, right? I mean, it can generate energy so quickly right there. And unfortunately, we gave up switch advantage, which is very, very bad because I really wanted to line up my Roserade against their Swampert. And I'm going to let it go through. I'm going to actually build up to 2 Blast Burns and then try and go back to back here. So we're a couple of Incinerates away from the second Blast Burn. So we're going to go for the Blast Burn right now. Unfortunately, we end up losing CMB as well. So this is like worst case scenario. I'm going to have to shield this up. And then this is very, very unfortunate, right? I'm going to go for the Blast Burn here. And this is going to take out the Typhlosion from this range if it goes unshielded. Let's see what they decide to do here. They do shield that, which is fantastic, right? Because now we have another one ready to go. So I'm going to go for the Blast Burn here. This is going to take out the Typhlosion from this range. And let's see what they come in with. They come back with Swampert. I'm immediately going to switch into my Roserade here. And they're still staying in, which is why I overfarm quite a bit. And then now I'm going to go straight Grass Knot here. This will one-shot the Swampert. And the fact that they didn't switch out tells me that they have something else in the back, which is also weak to Roserade, and they have a Sceptile in the back. This is perfect. I'm going to be able to get to this Weather Ball here. This is going to do massive, super effective damage. because of the grass typing. And yeah, this is pretty much GG's at this point, because I can just safely shield this up. Because even if they bait with Leaf Blade, they're not gonna be able to get to an Earthquake, right? They go for Dragon Claw, which is fine, because we should be able to get to another Weather Ball here, and they decide to give up the match there. So the fact that they stayed in with Swampert against my Roserade was an indication that they probably had something else in the back which was also weak to Roserade. And then obviously another thing about Roserade is with Weather Ball, it has such fantastic matchups against most grass types, right? It's gonna be able to win against most of the grass types, which is also a big win for it. So we have Roserade into a Togekiss here, another fantastic lead. I mean, Charmers in the lead is also a very positive situation to be in, right? So yeah, I'm gonna stay in and I'm gonna overfarm a little bit, but they actually make a switch into their Gallade. Immediately gonna go into my Gyarados. Honestly, I was slightly slow to switch because we took so much damage from confusion right there. And I'm gonna let it go through. It's gonna be a Leaf Blade. It's gonna do quite a bit of neutral damage, but I'm gonna save shields for my Roserade and Typhlosion. So I'm gonna go for the Aqua Tail here. Let's see if this gets the shield from the Gallade. I'm really hoping to get shields because both Roserade and Typhlosion function really well when shields are down. Aqua Tail does land, but unfortunately I think they're going to be able to confusion down the Gyarados here, which is unfortunate because they have so much loaded energy right now. So I'm actually going to come in with my Typhlosion and try and incinerate this Gallade down. So one incinerate basically takes it out. Luckily they're not able to get to a charge move, which is really good. They come back with Togekiss. Now this tells me that whatever they have in the back is also weak to fire. So I'm going to actually build up a little past a Blast Burn and then throw the Blast Burn here. This is going to near one-shot the Togekiss from this range. Almost one-shots it right there. Unfortunately, doesn't quite take it out. And they're able to get to a charge move as well. Now, nothing they have is going to take us out from this range, right? Even if it's Ancient Power, it's not going to take us out. It is Aerial Ace, does quite a bit of neutral damage, but we're able to take it down here. And we have a Blast Burn ready to go. So I'm going to throw the Blast Burn at whatever is going to come out. It is a Surf-Etched, so this is almost for sure going to get the shield. And then I'm immediately going to switch into my Roserade here, and this is GG's, right? Because, again, Roserade has a pretty positive matchup against Surf-Etched. Also, we have an energy and shield advantage as well. And a couple of Weather Balls should be taking it out there. So it does about 40% of Surf-Etched's health. And then I'm going to build up to 2 Weather Balls and try and go back to back here. Unfortunately, they get to a charge move here. I'm going to have to shield this up. Doesn't matter, whatever it is. It's just a Leaf Blade, which we could have survived because that's double resisted. But I didn't want to take any chances here because we have 2 back-to-back Weather Balls. So going to go for the first one. This is going to get the shield from the Surf-Etched, and the next one is definitely going to KO here. So, again, like I said, so many people like to have Charmers, Steel types, Fighters, Water types, etc. I mean, this thing has such varied coverage, right? It can handle Electric types, Grass types, Charmers, Fighters, and Steel types. I mean, I think it's going to be like the new big thing in the meta because it's just, in my opinion, it's just so OP. I'm looking forward to using it in so many more interesting team comps. Obviously, this was a pretty basic line, very strong line, but I'm sure Roserade has played in other interesting team comps as well, right? So anyways, as you see, we went 4-0 in this set, 4-1 in this set. Could have gone 5-0 to be honest, but anyways, it is what it is. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.